Hi, and welcome to Valheim Tips and Tricks. In this video, I'm going to show you the current way of farming unlimited wood, stones, resin, Greydwarf Eyes, and a whole other stuff that you can get from the Greydwarf Spawner. And for everyone's information, this is not really a brand new way of farming from spawners, but this method was less popular before because it was more tedious than the previous way of farming when you use campfires and hearths. But because of the update where campfires and hearths can already take damage and gets destroyed, this less popular way of farming became one of the most viable way of farming wood, stones, resin, and Greydwarf Eyes while AFK. All throughout the game, you will be in constant need to grind for wood and stones for your structures and resin for light fuel. Greydwarf Eyes also became a commodity after the Hearth and Home update for food ingredients and also for light fuel. So, having an unlimited source of these things would be a great thing to have to improve your way of life. So, if you think this guide would be of use to you, sit back, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video so that we can share it to those who might need this updated guide. Alright, so the first thing that you need to find is a Greydwarf nest. It's also known as the Greydwarf Spawner. You can only find Greydwarf nests in the Black Forest. It spawns every 12 seconds and it accounts up to 3 enemies around its spawn radius. So it will not spawn more enemies anymore if there are still at least 3 enemies around its spawn radius. In some previous guides, placing a wooden floor around the spawner will stop the creatures from spawning, but in the current version of the game, this is no longer working. Even placing a workbench next to it will not stop the creatures from spawning. So, we need to find another way to keep them at bay while you build your contraption for the farm. So, what you need to do is to dig a hole not too far from the spawner. Make sure that the hole is deep enough to trap 3 creatures. Once the hole is ready, lure the creatures near to the hole and use your block or parry to stagger them and then push them to the hole. You can also use your dodge roll to push them faster. And since the hole is still within the spawn radius, the nest is no longer going to spawn any Greydwarfs, and now you are free to build your farm. In my builds, I always do a 10 by 20 meters for the hole. So that's 5 by 10 measuring using the 2 by 2 wood walls. You can dig the hole as wide as you want depending on the design that you have envisioned for your farm. Just make sure that it's deep enough for your Greydwarfs not to escape. Now that the hole is prepped, time for the next stuff that you need for this contraption. Since campfires and hearths break when they cause damage to the Greydwarfs in the current version of the game, this is no longer a viable option if you want a farm that keeps producing the materials while you're away from your keyboard. So this is the tedious part of this build, since it needs wolves to work as an AFK farming. Wolves need to be tamed and bred first before you toss them into the pit and have them kill every creature that spawns. So if you have wolves already in your current stage of the game, then this would be perfect for you. This is doable to any tier of wolf, but I highly suggest that you use a 1-star or 2-star wolves for this build, as they have higher HP and higher damage. However, sometimes Viking lives have to be sacrificed for the better good. Sad. Wolves still tend to die from shaman and brutes from time to time, so make sure that you have enough number of wolves initially and feed them raw meat, deer meat, or lox meat to reproduce. Wolf meat is not part of your diet, so please don't feed them their own kind. With the 10 by 20 meters I usually make in my builds, it can usually hold 8 to 10 wolves before they stop breeding. One good option is to make a separate pen to have the wolves breed and have them follow you to the hole if you need more army for your farm. A small pen like this can hold up to 4 wolves before they stop breeding. And it takes 2 days in-game for the cubs to turn into fully grown wolves. So that's an hour in real life. Aside from the tons of wood, stones, resin, and Greydwarf Eyes, you will be able to get a lot of loots from the Greydwarfs as well. So if you don't need them anymore, you can stick them into the obliterator and turn them into coals. It's so much better than throwing them away like we have been doing before when the obliterator was not yet made available. Which pretty much explains why there's a trash pit in this video. So now all you gotta do is sit tight and relax, or visit the farm from now and then, loot the materials, organize them in your shed, and obliterate the extras that you don't need. And that is it for this guide, you guys, and I hope you find this helpful. If I missed something, please let me know in the comment below. You can also leave a comment for requests of guides and walkthroughs that you want us to cover, or any recommendations on how we can make our content better in our future videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now, you guys.